A former US senator once said that he believes not just in national security of their borders, but also in bridging divides. Good morning, gentlemen and respected GQ sir. My lecturate topic is Naxalism, a great threat to internal security of a nation. Now, firstly, we will understand what is Naxalism, or for that matter, what is Naxalite movement. So, Naxalism began as a revolutionary movement in the year 1967, which was led by the revolutionary peasant leader Charu Mazumdar. Naxalism is a word which has been derived from the name of the city called Naxalbari in West Bengal. It is a movement of the peasants, of the local people and the marginalized section of the society. It was a watershed movement in the history of India. Thereafter, Naxalism spread to many of the states of India, mainly in Jharkhand, Odisha, Uttar Pradesh, some parts of Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, and West Bengal, Bihar, and some parts of Maharashtra as well. Chhattisgarh has been considered as the hub of the Naxalism movement and the Naxalism activities. Now, Naxalism was accelerated as a movement by the local people and the marginalized and the exploited sections of the society, like the poor peasants, the farm dwellers, and the agriculturalists, etc. Now, Naxalism in the year 1970s weakened because of certain protests around the whole of the India. Like their leader Charu Mazumdar was arrested and was put under life imprisonment, and their activities were given a halt, and certain other arrests were taken place around India. Now I will talk about how Naxalism exactly works. So Naxalism works after they created their own party called the CPIM, which stands for Communist Party of India Marxist. It is a 30 to 32 member body, and thereafter they created an 18 to 20 member Politburo, which worked by killing people and the government officials and the local police officials at the panchayat level. Thereafter they recruited youths in their ambition, in order to fulfill their ambition, and supplied them with weapons, and also carried violence around the affected areas. Now, the affected areas which I have mentioned, they have been affected in varying degrees. Like for example, the Jharkhand, Uttar Pradesh, some parts of Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Jharkhand, Bengal, and Bihar. Now, Naxalism as a movement was very fierce, and it was a watershed movement in the history of India, as I said earlier. For the government of India, it was a great threat to internal security of the nation. In order to tackle such problems, the government of India introduced certain initiatives. But first, we have to look the minute difference between the Naxalism, the word Naxalism, and the word Maoism. So Naxalism is a movement of the peasants and the local officials, which was derived from the word Naxalbari. Whereas Maoism is a word which was largely meant of arms and ammunitions of violence, and it was derived from the government policies of the Chinese Communist Party leader Mao Zedong. Now moving on, I will talk about the government initiatives which they have taken to tackle such a grave threat. Firstly, they have empowered the government officials and the local police officials at the grassroots level. Like they have introduced the Central Reserve Police Force, the Central Industrial Security Force, the Commando Battalion for Resolute Action Force, the Cobra Battalion in short. And then they have set up CIAT schools, which stands for Counterinsurgency and Anti-Terrorism schools at the grassroots level. And also they have been witnessing the activities of such local groups, mainly the Naxalite groups in Chhattisgarh and in other areas. Now, the government of India has already taken the Operation Samadhan in order to tackle this issue. It is an initiative by the Ministry of Home Affairs, under which they seek approval and also they check the tracking on certain weapons and introduced biometrics on smart guns. This ensures that a person who is buying these weapons, whether he is a Naxal or not, or for that matter a miscreant. Moving on, the government has introduced certain other initiatives like surrendering cum rehabilitation is a program which ensures that if a person or a youth is engaged in such an activity, then he has a great chance to surrender, and they would certainly be inculcated in the under the rehabilitation program of the government of India. They have introduced certain policies like the interstate coordination between the central government as well as the state government. Earlier, it was considered that the Naxalism movement is just a law and order problem. However, it is much more than that. It is a national security threat. So, the government should take holistic approach to problems in order to tackle such an issue. At last, I would like to say that Naxalism is a grave threat, like I have said earlier, and it should be tackled in a manner which is more holistic. They should empower the marginalized community at the grassroots level. They should introduce schooling. They should introduce more opportunities for their children, and in order to tackle such issues, they should empower them with more amount of land and with greater standard of living, so that they do not feel marginalized and should not feel underprivileged. They should be introduced to more amenities and should be felt as if this is their own country and that this is democracy. This is how it all works. Then only this threat can be tackled in a holistic manner. Thank you.